They're good. You're good. Growing and
This circle right here could be smaller. It's still bigger, but it's smaller. Because it's
where's Conrad?
so many people. People in cars. Very important.
I'll pass this on to Nina. Ask her how many million would it cost us.
Welcome, everyone. I would like to call the meeting to order. March 19th, 2015, the regular board meeting of the Board of Trustees of Tarrant County College. Are there any public comments, Mr. Gates? Then we'll move right on, Chancellor, to the presentation on student access and success.
Thank you, Mrs. Appleman and board members, and good evening to all of you. And thank you so much for being here with us for our board meeting this evening. You're in for a really good treat, and that is that it's going to be pretty short. That's a little bit unusual for us to have a short board meeting. So JCC members, you won't have to worry about staying so late today. We should get through this pretty fast. I am very pleased, Madam President and board members, to present the leaders, some of the leaders of TCC Connect. You've heard me talk about it now for 2 full years, I guess, and we have launched it, as you know. We are up and running and are making very good progress so far. We still have a lot more work that we're going to do on this, but so far it's going very well. As you know, it's a completely new twist for us in that we took in not just the e-learning part of what we do, but also we folded in the weekend college, which is a new venture for us that's designed to give students an opportunity to complete their associate degree in very short order. And then, of course, we centralized dual credit. Each of our campuses had been responsible for dual credit and had done an outstanding job. My goal, however, when we designed TCC Connect was to at least double the number of students we have in TCC Connect, in dual credit. And it was going to take a lot of different procedures and policies for us to be able to do that. So we folded that in. We've had a few growing pains in all areas because it's been so different from anything else that we've done. But I'm very pleased that it's coming along quite well. So I've asked Dr. Carlos Morales, who is the president of TCC Connect, to come this evening and present a presentation for you so that you can have an opportunity to learn a little bit more, and feel free to ask any questions. He has 2 of his other staff members who are going to present with him, but I'll let him introduce them. Dr. Morales. Turn it green.
Very hard. Okay. Good evening, President Appleman, board members, Chancellor Hadley. We are very pleased and grateful for the opportunity tonight to present you with an update about the different things that we have been doing during the past 18 months in regards to TCC Connect. As Chancellor Hadley indicated, we have been very involved and very active in all the different things that we have been tasked with. I would like to start certainly with testimonials from our students. We would like to hear from them in regards to the experience that they have been having in all the modalities related to TCC Connect.
The life factor that caused me to choose online courses was because I was a full-time employee, and I knew that working full-time from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. in the evenings would be difficult for me to try and go into a classroom and try to study.
I found myself all of a sudden a single mom after 20 years of marriage of 2 boys, working full-time. And I discovered that to be able to pay for college and for cars and everything that was going to come up, that I needed to further my education. I needed to get a better job. So the only way I could see myself doing that is through online education.
I always thought it'd be a little bit harder, but in reality it's actually a little bit easier because of the flexibility of the time. Also, everything, of course, the books itself, the homework is done online. I don't have to carry the paperwork or carry extra luggage around.
The biggest advantage was the ability to be able to have the assignments posted in advance so that I could study and submit my assignments prior to the due date and to be able to do well on my exams.
I actually had a little bit more time to do the homework. I also had more time to go to work.
The biggest advantage for me was being able to do my homework at any time. I go to work every day, I come home, I've got to make supper, I've got to get the kids, make sure they do their homework, get them in bath. By the time they're in bed, it's 10 o'clock. Then I can start my homework. What I really enjoyed is the interaction with the students. I enjoyed the discussion boards. I enjoyed the thinking that the teacher required you to do. It was a self-learning process with the guidance of the instructor. E-learning is basically learning at your own pace, so with the guidance of the instructor.
I could always send them an email, or I could talk to them kind of like Skype, video calling. That's also another a feature that I liked about it.
And now that I have graduated with my associate's degree from Tarrant County College in Information Technology, I am now a part of the TCC Connect e-learning dual credit and weekend college program. Discipline is one of the main factors that you're going to have, as well as commitment to studying online in order to be successful.
As a former dual credit student, I think the program was really cool because you got to come to a college campus and experience the things that you wouldn't be able to experience when you were doing advanced placement classes, when you were just with a lot of your high school classmates. And so I really enjoyed actually coming to TCC, driving over here from my high school, doing the whole parking, walking on campus. My mom was the guidance counselor at my high school, and so she knew about all of that stuff and encouraged me to get into it. I was also taking AP classes, and so I thought it would be neat to do the dual credit for some of the classes that I couldn't take AP for. The advice I would give to high school students now about dual credit is to go for it. I think that it's really fun to come up to TCC's campus and be in the classes with adults and other college students, and it kind of gives you a feel for what college is going to be like. I just really enjoyed it. I would say if you have the opportunity to come to campus instead of doing it on your high school campus, to take advantage of it.
With those encouraging words, thank you. With those encouraging words, and before I proceed any further, I just want to introduce two of the members of my team. Vice President of Academic Outreach and Student Success, Dr. Obregant. And our Dean of Academic Affairs, Ms. Candy Center. They will be interjecting with me in the presentation. Moving on, in terms of the highlights of TCC Connect regarding operations, very quick highlights. We hired 9 discipline coordinators last summer, and they are delivering excellent service related to faculty excellence as we move forward. We have been also involved in the development of policies and procedures in key areas related to our operation. We have been working on Memorandum of Understanding, dual credit faculty. We have provided information sessions to parents, and we have also worked on hiring practices. The opportunity and certainly the task allow us to think outside of the box in everything related to the new modalities that we want to deliver to more students. One additional element is the implementation of independent ISDs, independent school district embedded teachers for dual credit. As you heard Chancellor Hadley mentioning before, one of the goals is to duplicate, grow 2 times the current number of students we are serving in that area. An additional element key to TCC Connect operations is that we are infusing the practice, all the practices we have with professional development and quality assurance. So you're going to hear more about those elements as we continue through the presentation. And in this case, I'm going to ask Ms. Center, Dean Center, to come forward and talk about e-learning.
Good evening. It's a delight to be here and talk to you a little bit about the programs that we've been able to offer. As you heard from our student colleagues, they have some really fabulous experiences and reasons for wanting to take our e-learning classes. And so what we've been able to do with TCC Connect, as Dr. Morales has said, is really leverage some of not only what we think is best practice and excellence for our particular students, but also expand our offerings as we continue to grow and to build on what we have done within the campuses to bring that under one umbrella. So as most of you know, we have offered online courses for many, many years, and we have been able to move from courses into fully online certificates and degrees, specifically 5 AAS degrees in Business and Information Technology and 15 online certificates, which has been really amazing for our students because, as you heard them say very powerfully in their own words, this provides additional access in addition to what we can provide on the campuses. And so for us, what we would like to do is share with you a little bit about those specific programs. So in terms of the specific fully online, for a student that would want to take 100% online courses, we have the 5 degree programs that you see on the screen in front of you: Accounting Information Management, Business Administration, Accounting Assistant, Business Administration in terms of entrepreneurship and small business management, Office Technology Professional. Some of our students are coming, and maybe we should have the certificates first, coming and completing the stackable certificates that have been developed in collaboration with our full-time faculty to really serve the needs of our students as they're looking to complete those particular degrees and to move from the certificates into the applied science degrees. We've been really happy with where we are in terms of program development, and we are looking to be able to expand our current offerings. So let's look a little bit at our enrollment for the past couple of semesters. So if we go back, just in terms of summer of 2013, we had 14,802 enrollments. And I'll read out of order a little bit. For summer of 2014, 10,750 students. Then you see in fall of 2013, the 20,791 enrollments, which represents 13,381 unduplicated students. In the spring, as we would expect, as we see with the campuses, there's a little bit of a dip in enrollments, 20,651, and then in terms of unduplicated students, a little dip again, 13,243. For fall of 2014, we had 15,178 enrollments, representing 11,392 unduplicated students. And in spring, we currently have 13,662 enrollments, representing 12,561 unduplicated students. As you look at these numbers, we do see a dip in enrollment, and so that brings a natural question that you might have, which is what caused that? And we know that as we have been making the transition from the campuses to TCC Connect, as our Chancellor said earlier, we've experienced some growing pains. And so we made some decisions that resulted in lower enrollment so that we could ensure the quality, or a better quality, of the operational structure that we're putting in place. we expect that we will continue to grow and continue that pattern of growth that the campuses began for us so that we can continue to build on that particular set of excellence. At this point, I'd like to hand off to Dr. Aubrey Gant to talk to you and share with you a little bit about our dual credit programs.
Thank you. Good evening to Ms. Appleman, members of the board, and Chancellor Hatley. I am excited to give you a brief snapshot of what's taking place in our dual credit programs. We are really excited with TCC Connect dual credit programs. As you can see, we currently serve 16 independent school districts. 64 high schools is comprised of those 16 independent school districts. We are currently serving, we have 5 service areas, but we're serving 5 private schools as well. We are excited, very excited this evening to announce that Harmony Science Academy and ULIS, the International Leadership of Texas, and Nolan High School will be participating in our dual credit programs beginning next fall. And so we're really excited about that. I would like to also add that we are currently in communication, thanks to Ms. Suzanne Cottrell for bringing us to the table with members of Oak Ridge High School in Arlington, and they are interested in partnering with us at Tarrant County College, and we had a very productive meeting last month, right before the ice. Dual credit course delivery, however, is not bound to geography, meaning students may enroll in e-learning courses, and as you heard the students talk about their e-learning experience, it's been very good and for those students, and they're taking advantage of e-learning. For dual credit offerings offered through TCC Connect and career and technical program coursework that's offered at the at the campus level, the campus presidents are responsible for those technical programs. One of the things that are exciting about that is that our students may be in one service area, but they're not bound to that service area if they're interested in technical programs. For instance, we have students in Arlington Independent School District who actually take courses on our Northwest campus through several of our programs. One that comes to mind is the Fire Science program, and they're taking advantage of that program on campus. One of the advantages of TCC Connect Dual Credit Program is the innovation and flexibility. Students like the flexibility of the dual credit programs. Details such as class size, student transportation, course sites, and methods of instructional delivery may be negotiated to optimize opportunities of student success. We do believe that our students are very successful in our dual credit programs. Next, I would like to introduce our magnificent dual credit coordinators by their service areas. The individuals you see on the screen this evening work very hard to ensure that we have positive relationships with our independent school districts. So first I would like to introduce Ms. Felicia Battles. She's in our service area 1. And introducing her by the screen, she's not here this evening. She handles Castleberry and Fort Worth ISD and does a very fine job working with those schools. Ms. Tamisha Hilliard Daniels, she's responsible for service area number 2, and that covers Birdville, Carroll, Grapevine, Colleyville, Hearst, Euless, Bedford independent school districts. Service Area 3, which is the area closer to the Northwest campus. I like to put a plug in. That was a campus I was on for a number of years. Ms. Catherine Smith, she serviced the number 3 service area, and it covers Azle, Eagle Mountain, Saginaw, Keller, Lake Worth, and White Settlement ISD. Ms. Catherine Myers, very hardworking young lady. She covers Service Area 4, and that's the Crowley, Everman, and Mansfield Independent School District. And last but not least, Dr. Stephanie Barnes. She covers the Service Area number 5, and that includes Arlington and Kennedale ISD. And so we are definitely proud of the accomplishments that those dual credit coordinators are making in the high schools. Just briefly, they are responsible for the admissions and the registration process. This spring was our first semester where the dual credit team actually completed registration, and we completed 6,500 registrations, so we are really excited about that. And I am proud of the team for doing such a good job. We realize the enrollments here, basically, we actually have the enrollments by service area. And as you would see, our total enrollment for academic year 2013-2014 was 12,463 students, or enrollments. And we had academic year 2014-2015, there are 13,224 students. And that actually represent approximately a 6% increase. And so we are proud of that because we are working with several teams to increase enrollments. But as you will see, there's a little dip in enrollments. You can go into the next one. There's a little dip in enrollment if you look at service area number 2. And we are aware, and we, as Candy said, and we know that there will probably be a question in regards to why we see the decrease in service area number 2. And it appears that there was personnel changes in several of our local high schools in that service area, but we have worked with those service areas to provide professional development to those individuals who are new in the school to help us recruit the students in that service area. Not only have we worked with them through professional development, we're working with our PR and marketing team here at Tarrant County College to help us market dual credit programs in all of our service areas. And I'm happy to announce by summer, I'm looking back at Suzanne, by summer we will have publications for our students, but not only students, but for parents. One of the things that we learned with working and meeting with the area superintendents is that parents really need more information about the dual credit program. One of the superintendents mentioned and encouraged us to make sure that we help parents understand the difference between AP, advanced placement, and dual credit. And so I immediately start working with the marketing team to make sure that we have that information for our parents. And going forward, we definitely want the parents to know the difference between advanced placement and dual credit, or the advantages of dual credit versus advanced placement, I'm sorry. One of the things that we find is that one of the things we try to encourage our students in is just letting them know once they graduate from high school, they will have a college transcript. With AP, sometimes what we're learning now is that many of the students are having a difficult time passing the AP exam. So we are definitely encouraging students to participate in TCC Connect dual credit. Thank you.
One additional component of the TCC Connect portfolio is Weekend College, and Weekend College is the newest components of our portfolio and has 4 key elements that I'm going to list for you. It is designed for students to attend full-time by just coming to college one day on the weekends. It uses e-learning to provide a hybrid environment. It also provides an accelerated pathway to complete an associate's degree in 18 months. And certainly the noteworthy element here is that students matriculate in 2 terms, which then leads to fewer drops. The intention with Weekend College is to increase graduation rates. One anecdote that I want to share, when I arrived to TCC, in summer of 13, Chancellor Hadley, in one of our KELP meetings, shared with us the statistics from the Almanac, Texas Higher Education Almanac. And I was surprised to see the number of hours our students were accumulating and not necessarily advancing and graduating. So the thinking of Weekend College in an accelerated way helps achieving or actually reducing that gap and accelerating the time for students to complete an associate's degree. With that said, we started in fall of 2014 with 154 students. Weekend College, being accelerated, is comprised of 2 7-week terms. And as I said before, students matriculate in the first 2 classes for the first 7 weeks, but also they are matriculated on the second one. So there is little deviation for them that leads into drops. And for spring 2015, the figure that we are seeing is 271 students in a similar fashion for 2 7-week terms. The key element for TCC Connect, in terms of e-learning, dual credit, and weekend college, is that we are infusing the practice, as I mentioned before, with professional development. One key component is the online faculty certification. We are here tonight to share with you some of the components of that new certification process, and I'm going to call again Dean Center so she can give us the details on that sense.
Okay, so we have really spent a little bit of time doing a lot of thinking outside of the box around our e-learning program, but also listening to the feedback that we've heard not only from students but from our faculty colleagues and our campus leadership regarding not only the great strengths of our e-learning program, but some of our opportunities to improve that particular program. And one of the pieces of feedback that we heard is that as we are training and working with faculty to help them create online courses, we really had an opportunity to reimagine what we were doing so that we really looked differently at the process. In the past, the process was very linear sequential. All faculty who wanted to be certified to teach a course online needed to complete an 8-week program, all beginning at the same time, all going through the exact instruction. They all needed to complete all of the modules. And the feedback that we heard from faculty was this really didn't honor their expertise in the ways that we needed to. And so what we've been able to do is look at, and what you see in the colorful circles is to really look again at our tools, at what we can provide in terms of a faculty mentor showcase, our pedagogical strategies, and our e-learning best practices. We just knew that we needed to divide faculty coming to us to teach online. Those that are new to online teaching and those that come with prior experience. And so what we wanted to be able to do was to recognize and honor that experience. One additional nuance to the change is that we are now, previously we certified e-learning courses, and we are now recognizing faculty expertise by certifying faculty, meaning that if a faculty member is certified to teach in English and they are an expert within that area, we honor and recognize their expertise and know that that is a transferable process for us. And so we want to make sure that we make that commitment to our faculty colleagues. Additionally, we knew that an 8-week process was really a very long process, and so we have worked so that if a faculty member comes to us from a sister institution or from somewhere in the country, we can then be able to certify that particular faculty member in one business day, which is a big change and a great improvement for us. In terms of looking at the program specifically, the way that we do this and the way that we've been able to create that turnaround is by asking faculty to share with us their competencies. And so they document those competencies for us. We have a survey that they complete where they have an opportunity to demonstrate their competencies. And then we take that assessment and we create an individualized plan for each faculty member based on their gaps as they align with our district quality standards. And those have existed within the district, standards for quality online instruction for many, many years, and we want to make sure that we're continuing that through. And so the circle that you see in the middle, or the circles in the middle, is we've changed the process to be faculty-centered, to involve ongoing evaluation, to involve a development process that is really more collaborative and recognizes much more faculty expertise and peer development. One of the pieces that the discipline coordinators have been completing with us and have continued in terms of the discussion is how do we evaluate those online courses and how do we recognize the quality? And so we've spent a fabulous several days looking at those courses and aligning our skill sets and our view of what the district quality standards mean so that we're all talking the same language. So that's been a great discussion. It's been very eye-opening for them and for me. And so we look forward to then being able to recognize that not only as part of our growth, but as we work and continue to work with our faculty colleagues. So as we look a little further, one piece that we heard was missing from what we were doing is the opportunity for faculty to mentor other faculty. So we have great faculty expertise in our online programs, but we were developing the certification process in a way that really was a closed window. And what we've done is we've opened up that particular process to create an online learning community and the opportunity for faculty in all of the disciplines to be able to participate and work with each other, share best practice, and each new faculty member participating in the training will have a personal point of contact for discipline-specific teaching and development in terms of their assistance. We are thrilled. We've asked our faculty experts to provide us a little bit of guidance, and we've had an overwhelming response, so much so that we can't keep up with the numbers of faculty that are volunteering to help us out. Dr. Morales will share with you a little bit about what's coming next.
I'd like to ask a question.
Candy, would you
I'd
come
like
back?
to,
Come back to me.
I heard you say there was a delightful discussion in regard to some of this stuff. I heard, I listened, and is this part of the, do you think the faculty is on the same page with the administration in regard to this? It seems to me there was some rumbling in regard to kind of regulating this, and is that still an issue with us, or just do you have any comments on that?
I do. I will say to you that TCC Connect has provided us within the district a wonderful opportunity to discuss some things that we have taken as matter of course. And what I mean by that is we've opened a discussion with our campus colleagues and with our faculty colleagues to talk about, as we create this transition, what's working and what's not working. Chancellor indicated that we had some bumps along the way in terms of how are we doing this and how has this been implemented and launched. And we all know that that's been part of the growing process when we decided to do that. But I think what's been important is that we've been able to hear from our faculty colleagues, here are some things that they would like specifically in terms of the online faculty training and how we adjust that particular training and how we move forward. We have begun a conversation that will allow us as Connect and with the campuses to really talk about how we navigate enrollment and the impact of our enrollments. But yes, it's been a very rich discussion. And is there agreement? No.
Mr. Greenhill, if I may add to that, all of you know that I tend to be very frank about if you were to call any member of the JCC up to the microphone and ask them what they thought, if you were to ask that question,
That's right.
you would hear basically perhaps three things. Number one, they've been very, very concerned about quality. They want to ensure that whatever we do at TCC Connect carries the same level of quality as you get face-to-face. A second thing is there's disagreement, I would say philosophical disagreements about some things that should not be done on Connect, for instance, online laboratories for some of the sciences. Some of our science faculty members don't believe in online laboratories. There is evidence, quite a bit of evidence around the country that they work for certain courses, and we have proceeded to move forward with exploring how we might implement the online laboratories. And then, of course, the third area of disagreement has nothing to do with the staff or the courses or whatever, but it's just a discussion that has been ongoing until very recently. We've all agreed to cut it off. And that is how full-time faculty members are assigned to teach online. And when I say assigned, they're only assigned if they want to be assigned, because you may not know this, but our full-time faculty members have an option of teaching what we call an overload or not. You know, faculty members are, by contract, teach 5 courses per semester. If they want to teach more than that, they can for extra pay, and it's an overload. So there's been some disagreement about why we need to call online faculty members adjuncts when they teach for Connect rather than regular faculty members. And that was something that we decided to do, primarily because I feel that it's very, very important for us to have a clean line between what happens on the campuses and what happens at TCC Connect. So there is a bifurcated situation here, because I think it's difficult for faculty members to serve 2 masters. Who's going to be the president in charge if it's a regular faculty member teaching online? Is it going to be Dr. Morales, or is it going to be the specific campus presidents? The presidents and I came to terms with this quite some time ago. The faculty and I still aren't quite to terms with it. So that's why you've heard that. But at our last JCC meeting, we had a full discussion, and I told them that I think it's time for us to close it off, and if they want to bring it to you as something they want to take up with you, that's fine. But my decision is that we will keep it as it is. It is not, I will tell you, impairing anything that we're doing on Connect. Our biggest challenge perhaps will be to make sure that we continue to work very closely with those faculty members who are interested, and a lot of them are, in helping us build TCC Connect to make it be as good as it can be.
I like a frank answer. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank
Any
you,
other
Candy.
questions?
In terms of just in closing, I want to give you a snapshot of what is ahead for TCC Connect. 2 key elements. One of them is competency-based degrees. We are in the process of beginning early exploration for competency-based degrees. There is a renaissance, if you will, of that strategy for students to complete their degrees. So we are looking into that. So we will be, again here, discussing and presenting about that. The other element related to us moving forward is prior learning assessment. Prior learning assessment is kind of you have the brother and the sister. Brother competency-based, and the sister is the prior learning assessment. As an alternative way for students to complete degree requirements. And both of these approaches have to do with people that either they started an education years ago, okay, and they, for life reasons, they stopped that and then went to the workforce. And for a number of years, they developed an expertise, an experience, be accounting, be teaching, be engineering, be business. And these modalities, these approaches allow to recognize that expertise and then will be converted into academic credit. So just in a nutshell, that is what is ahead for TCC Connect. Thank you again for the opportunity to present to you with this update. And if there are any questions, we will be happy to address them.
I actually have a couple of questions. Sure. The first would be, can you talk about registration and tuition as it relates to the differences between dual credit students and regular college students or adult learners?
Right now, TCC has one tuition rate, if you will, regardless if you are face-to-face, online, dual credit is the same rate, which is $55 an hour. So we don't have any differential tuition at this moment.
Okay, and then my second question is kind of based on the conversation of bifurcating. I know that online or e-learning is very robust all over the nation, the world, and four-year universities. And I appreciate separating TCC Connect from the main campuses, especially when the data is presented. It gives the community a better snapshot of who's on campus and who's taking online courses. So I really appreciate that line of thinking for a lot of reasons. I have seen it put together in the same data, and it's confusing when you look at enrollment.
Yes, thank you.
About a year and a half ago, Liz Sisk and I were making a presentation to an Arlington Rotary Club, and we had a gentleman stand up, and he was a UTA professor, and he made the flat statement that there is not a high school student in the world that is capable of doing college-level work. How would you answer that question? And secondly, what steps do you take to assure that these courses are, in fact, college level?
Sure. In terms of the students that come to TCC, they have two routes. One of them is dual credit, so we are providing quality academic work at that level. Is our everything is TCC. The syllabus, the course, the materials, everything originates in TCC. So we are delivering that high quality aspect, and then the students come to TCC with that very same approach, with that very same custom of rigor, quality, and experience. In terms of how we assure that they are the same is because we start from a master syllabus. We start from original documents and single documents that are approved and vetted by district. So that's the point of reference for everything we do in regards to that element.
Except the main thing that you can measure by is the dual credit students must pass the same college entrance exam as any of our other students. So they cannot get in a dual credit course unless they are at a certain level.
Any other questions, comments?
Thank you so much, all of you, for
Thank you for your
being
support.
with us tonight. I did have one other question. It's really for Ms. Cottrell and the team that was preparing materials for the parents.
Come to the mic, please.
Will
Suzanne.
that be in more than one language, more than English, those materials? You have a draft.
Actually, I don't know that we're prepared to show the mock-up yet, but we do have materials that will be produced in multiple languages,
Great.
primarily, Spanish and English. But it's a piece that has stair-step information, as well as it's a really aggressive side-by-side comparison of advanced placement and dual credit. So we really want to take them on.
Good, thank you.
And it's also going to be online.
Yes, ma'am. And we have a separate piece specifically for students also to get them excited about taking it home and showing their parents. So, thank you.
Thank you so much for bringing your team here.
Will those be available for the showcase on March 28th?
Yes.
Thank you.
Assuming we get approval, Dr. Morales. Yes.
You just imposed a new deadline on her.
No, we're actually planning to market heavily there, so yes, ma'am.
All right, we will move into board action items. Approval of the minutes of the meeting of February 19th. Motion to approve, please. Second, any questions, discussion? All those in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. The consent agenda, I think we, now my print shows policy changes, but we've removed all of that, okay. Committee reports, Audit and Finance, Mr. Carter.
The Audit Committee has not met. We are working on a couple of things other than the usual internal audits. One of them is review of the Hazelwood Act, which is, I think, about 87 years old this particular year, but has gone through many changes, and both legislative and this year judicially. So we're about halfway through that, and so I'll be able to present the material to the committee, and then I think at the next board session we'll just give you sort of an overview of it. Basically, we're looking at current enrollment and what the potential impact would be related to judge ruling in January that expanded the parameters of that program. Just in case anybody doesn't know, everybody knows Hazelwood? I guess basically if you used up your military benefits eligibility, then in Texas, if you qualify, you can collect 150 hours for nothing. So, although that breaks my primary rule in life, which is there's no such thing as a free lunch. Okay, and the other thing we're working on is the committee wants to review our investment policies. Basically, we'll take a look at what the parameters are allowable, and also compare how we're doing with the other 9 largest community colleges. I fully expect that we're doing as good or better than anybody else because it's such a restrictive area, but we've had numerous discussions, so we'll just try to resolve it, not once and for all, but for this year anyway.
Thank you. The Governance Committee actually did a virtual meeting and approved the agenda, and that's why I have one print. Y'all did that just to see if I would keep up with my computer rather than my printout. It was a test. Institutional planning, Ms. Vandergriff.
Institutional planning did not meet, but we're meeting on Monday after the luncheon with the foundation, and that will be located here at 1:30.
The luncheon, you remember, is the one benefiting the Foundation Scholarship Fund featuring Shimon Peres from Israel. 50th Anniversary Jubilee Celebration, Dr. Morrison.
Thank you, Madam President. The committee had a very effective and interactive meeting on Monday noon, and the Chancellor engaged those in attendance in some very active input. So things are moving right along. If you haven't taken a moment to go to the website, you should go there and look at one of the pieces on the 50th anniversary celebration, and more things are in progress. I was excited to see the flags, which we had talked about. We had a replica there Monday, and I don't know the date for posting those on campus, but I'm sure those will be unfurled very shortly. And I'm hoping that maybe there'll be one at the luncheon on Monday. But things are moving along very well. We got exciting updates about the August 1st community-wide celebration, which will be held on Panther Island or on the banks of the Trinity River, down below Trinity River campus. So we're very excited about that. And we also know that each of the campuses are planning exciting events on their own campuses that fall in line with the 50th anniversary theme of celebrating 50 years of success within reach. So we're excited, and we appreciate everybody's input. Staff has really bought into this with a lot of integrity and enthusiasm, and we're most grateful, Madam Chancellor. And I want to thank the board for allowing me to serve in this capacity.
Any questions or comments? All right, we have a couple of action items. Item number 9, consideration and approval of revision to special lab fees for the professional pilot program at Northwest Campus. Dr. LeBlanc.
Madam Chair, before Dr. LeBlanc starts her thank you. Before Dr. LeBlanc starts her presentation, I just want to take a moment to thank her and all of her team for the great work they continue to do with our Center of Excellence for Aviation, Technology, and Logistics. I got it, didn't I, Elva?
Without looking.
And without looking, that's right. I'm learning. And also, I'm sure when you looked at the item that she's about to talk about, you may have had a little heartburn at some of those prices, but she'll explain why they have to be as they are. Dr. LeBlanc.
Thank you, Mrs. Hadley, Mrs. Appleman, board members. It is a pleasure to be here this evening. It's been a wonderful journey getting to the Center of Excellence and creating the curriculum that was requested by the community to serve the community. And one of the very successful programs that we initiated as a result of moving there is the pilot program, which currently has enrollments of 255 students. The head count is 71, but the enrollments are 255, and we really just got started. And so with success comes a little bit of pain, and that, of course, leads to our request for an increase in the lab fees. Just to refresh your memory, the professional pilot associate degree and certificates are competency-based degrees. and they require a minimum number of flight hours based on Federal Aviation Administration regulations. Now, when we started the program, we requested proposals from different companies so as to outsource the flight component. These companies own their own airplanes. They have insurance on those airplanes, and they provide all of everything that's needed for the flight time. And so it is more practical for the college to outsource that component than to actually purchase airplanes that are up to date to provide the pilot training. So also to refresh your memory, the Education Code allows you to set special lab fees for programs like this. We do get very nice funding from the state on this program, but we still charge the regular tuition fee, and we have to offset that with this lab fee. In comparison to other post-secondary institutions that provide similar programs, our fees are less. And so even though it may appear high to you, they are significantly less, and the students capture that, as you can see from the enrollments and the enthusiasm and interest in the program. So we are making this request because on the next action item, number 10, has to do with a proposal that's linked to this, but we would need your approval of the increase in the lab fee.
Are you ready? Motion to approve the recommendation. A second?
Second.
Mr. Heed made the motion, and Mr.
I have
Greenhill.
a question. I don't know. I would, excuse me.
Mrs. Vandergriff seconded it. Discussion.
Okay. I'm not sure which item this is, but it's,
Number 9.
I'm looking at the PDF here, and you have course tuition, initial flight equipment fee, account minimum. Is this item or the next one?
This one.
This is item number 9.
How does the, are we at any risk? If you say how does the account minimum, how does that work? They deposit $500, and are we ever at risk of not ever of recovering the $8,975, or do they? How does this work?
We have a special account system in place, and Stan Vick actually helped us set this up so that the students deposit the money prior to us spending it, prior to them taking the class and spending it. If for some reason the cost of the training goes down because USAG charges less, we adjust all of that. If the fees go up, we adjust it. But we get their money first.
So what you're saying is the account, they do deposit $8,975, for example, to begin with, not just the minimum.
I'm pretty sure of that, but I need to reaffirm
just-
that. That is correct, isn't it? Pardon me?
Stan, would you come to the microphone, please?
Stan keeps up with every penny, and he makes sure that the deposit is even larger than that. Go ahead.
Well, Clint, I think you're it tonight.
To provide the correct, the deposits are larger, but let Clint address that really.
Yeah, that's correct. The program costs a lot of money, and we send students through orientation before they, I think Tyson's here, about a month or two before they ever enter the program, and we require that they deposit money into these accounts, and we pay USAG directly. TCC pays USAG out of these accounts. It's important that they understand the costs and that money is in place before they start, because we don't want them getting halfway through and not having enough money. So that's why we require these deposits now.
we're not toting the note. Why is there a minimum if you're putting all the money in there at the same time? I'm just trying to find out if we're toting the note. That's
No,
Okay.
we're not.
Okay,
Money
thank
comes
you.
directly from the students.
Okay.
And we make sure that the itemized costs are correct before we pay the bill to USAG. The student never has any direct contact with USAG. We take care of that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Mr. Heed?
One question.
Yes, sir.
For example, on that first one,
Turn on your microphone.
I'm not sure where he is, but.
for example, on that first 12:15 private flight, $179.50 an hour, approximately how much would that cost at other institutions of the
I have that.
similar kind of thing?
Sure.
We did do a comparison, because we knew you were going to ask that question. And I hope you don't mind this, Stanley, but we pulled this together this afternoon.
Absolutely,
Because
absolutely.
we thought of it right before Mr. Heath. But you can see from this, the prices are.
You'll see that the institutions, the rates are all over the map, but if you look at the total amounts, you will note that Tarrant County College is lower than the other institutions. And we really did our homework when exploring the pilot program. We actually went to University of North Dakota, where the snow was up to here, and went to Kansas and went to TSTC and et cetera, to learn how they figured out the formulas and how they served the students.
So I imagine some people are wondering what kind of student has that kind of money, and I would imagine perhaps that they maybe have it themselves, or they may an employer or potential
Yes.
sources of.
I'll let Clint speak to that, because he actually meets with them all the time.
Yeah, it's a mix of different types of students. Aviation students are unique. They go into this knowing exactly what it's going to cost, and they're driven. So the financial sources that are available to them are traditional financial aid sources, scholarships, and that sort of thing, as well as just private funding, private loans. And this is also a very popular program with the VA students, because they have funding as well.
Isn't that the majority of the students
For the helicopter program.
for the
yes, ma'am.
helicopter VAs?
Call the question. All those, excuse me, all those in favor of the recommendation to revise the special lab fees for the professional pilot program on Northwest Campus, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number
Thank you very
10,
much.
consideration and approval of contract with U.S. Aviation Group to provide flight training for the professional pilot program at Northwest Campus. Mr. Herndon.
Chancellor Hadley, President Appleman, members of the board, good evening. As discussed by Dr. LeBlanc and Dean Grant on the previous item, it's become necessary to add additional aircraft to the professional pilot program to meet the needs of industry, which has necessitated a revision to the contract we have with U.S. Aviation as well. These changes are explained in the board summary memo fairly well, but in short, we're exchanging one plane out, swapping one plane out that was on the original contract, and adding two additional ones, along with an increase in the pilot fee associated with that. U.S. Aviation was awarded the contract through the issuance of RFP number 13012, and that was approved by you, the board, back in July of 2013 for an initial 2-year contract with the option to renew for additional terms. Now, although the current agreement is not quite expired, I think there's a couple of months left on it. Since we it became necessary to add additional aircraft and make modifications to the contract, we felt it was appropriate to exercise the option to extend at this time, rather than have to come back to you again in a couple of months to do an extension. The administration recommends your approval to extend the contract with U.S. Aviation for a period of 5 years to include the addition of the additional aircraft and fees. I'll be happy to answer any questions regarding this, and I also asked Clint to stick around in the event you have a question specific about the program.
Motion to approve the recommendation.
So moved.
Mr. Greenhill, seconded by Mr. Heed. Questions, comments?
Call the question.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item number 11, the monthly financial report. Mr. Vick and Ms. Hadley.
While Stan Vick is coming, I'll remind you, some of you have already told this before, but Mark McClendon and Nancy Chang are both in China, making a follow-up visit to the one we made earlier, so that they can get some things tied down for forming some relationships to get students who want to study in the U.S. To come to Tarrant County College District. So Stan has graciously agreed to stand in and make this report. Thank you, Stan.
Good evening, Chancellor and Madam President and board members. It is my pleasure to be able to present February's financial information this evening. I'm sure you'll remember at last month's board meeting, you heard that on February 13th, we made our final debt payment. And if you will turn to page 4 in the balance sheet for our plant fund, I want to point out one line item regarding that. The current bonds payable shows $127,000, $949. This amount represents the remaining unamortized amounts related to our debt. And these amounts will be fully amortized when we make our year-end adjustments this year. The line item right under that, note payable for $5 million, is our final payment due on the Alliance facility that we acquired from Bell. And that payment will be made September 1st of 2015. Moving on to page 5. Our income statement. We're 6 months into the year, and you'll see that our total income shows 81.5% of our annual budget. And this is normal, and it's primarily the result of having already received the majority of our tax revenue. Pages 6 and 7 of our expenditure statement, I don't believe have anything new that you have not seen or been advised of before, but I will point out our total expenses of 58.8%. It's a little bit over 50% that you would expect for 6 months, but that calculation also includes the encumbrances, which you can see are about $19 million. So that does bump up the percentage a little bit. I'm going to move on to the investment portfolio. February is also another good month for tax collection. December, January, and February are our 3 months that the majority of those funds come in. And you can see that our pool positions increased by about $22.5 million up to about $150 million at the end of the month. We did have one security called. You'll see that $10 million Fannie Mae in the middle of the page. So that brought our investments a net increase of about $12 million for the month, resulting in an ending balance for our portfolio of $320 million. The yield through February is 0.75%, which compares well to the 13-week and 26-week T-bill benchmarks of 0.03% and 0.09% respectively. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Questions of Mr. Vick? Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stan.
Chancellor's report.
Madam President and board members, in your notebooks, on your board books, in your electronic board books, I should say, wherever, you have pages of accolades from the various campuses, and I want to highlight just a few of those to tell you that our Northeast campus can now boast David R. Selly, who is an instructor of geography, is having a scholarship named for him at the University of North Texas, and they are going to call it the David R. Sally Scholarship for Applied Biogeography. That should be a very interesting, I suppose that's a new field, and they're getting students to enroll in biogeography. You know what that's all about, biogeography, Alan? I won't ask you that. Okay, very well. And on our Northwest campus, we want to give a special shout out to Michelle Espinoza, an instructional assistant on that campus, for her dedication in facilitating the Northwest Campus's biology club, Ebola Behind the Headlines. They were able to attract over 100 faculty and students from around the district, and no wonder they attracted them. If you look at the list of participants who ran the presentations, Dr. Laura Hanson from Texas Woman's University was an immunologist, Dr. Christopher Curves, a professor of mathematics at UTA, Mr. Russell Jones, Master of Public Health, Chief Epidemiologist at the Tarrant County Health Department, and our own Edmund Tamaklo, who is a Liberian native and also a library specialist on Northeast Campus, and Dr. Stephen Matthews, a microbiologist at the University of North Texas Health Science Center. So from time to time, we see things come across, and we talk a lot about faculty, we talk about administrators, talk about a lot of people. We don't talk about the librarians, and they're some of the most important people in our district, and I'm always so pleased that they have their feet in almost everything that goes on these campuses, and I was reminded of that when I saw the librarian here who was involved. And then on our South Campus, Dr. Jordan can now boast that the Associate of Applied Science degree in Construction Management is now a nationally accredited degree recognized by the American Council for Instruction. That degree is only one of only 2 programs accredited in the state of Texas, and is one of 12 recognized in the United States of America, so that deserves an applause. Dr. Orlando Batcal represented the college and proudly accepted that award. And then you can see in your book the kinds of things that are required to become certified in that area. On our Southeast Campus, the Southeast Campus and district administrators celebrated the signing of an articulation agreement between Tarrant County College and the University of Texas at Arlington on February 6th. The agreement affords our honors students a smooth transition into the UTA Honors College, and I hope they're getting some scholarship money as well, Dr. Capote. I always expect, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. The Cornerstone Honors Program on that campus, run by Catherine Cusenberry and Felicia Nutt, so we are very proud of them. And of course, on our Trinity River campus, the faculty and staff planned a remarkable selection of events to celebrate Black History Month, and they too had a very good list of participants. The Student Development Associate Axel Leos, the Government Instructor Janelle Kisenworth, Math and Science Divisional Dean Dreyon Johnson, Coordinator of the Discovery Center and the Center for Leadership Development Stevie Bakley, Coordinator of Student Activities Edward Bassart, Registered Nurse Angela Virgin, Public Services Librarian, there's a librarian again, Tracy Soto, Director of Library Services Suzanne Biquette, and the Student Development Assistant Jennifer Warren. A big shout out to all of them. We really appreciate that. And of course, the graphic specialist. I know you have to notice as you go around the campuses all these beautiful announcements and signage that you see, and they are done by our graphics people. We don't talk about them very much, but we certainly see the results of their work spread throughout the district, and we really appreciate them. In the Administration and General Counsel area, I'm pleased to tell you that Vice Chancellor Angela Robinson presented a paper on faculty fitness for duty, ADA and FMLA, to the National Association of College and University Attorneys in New Orleans on March 25th. And in the Communications and External Relations area, under Reginald Gates, the marketing and PR entry, "This is what college looks like," and Shelley has a picture of that, has been selected as a finalist in category number 67, Print Advertising Projects in the 2015 CASE Accolades Competition. And as a finalist, the entry has been deemed outstanding among a panel of judges and has been selected for an award. The winners in each category will be revealed Monday, April 13th at the Case District Meeting Conference in Austin. There are many, many more accolades that I want to call your attention to in the back of your books, and this is great reading when you're getting that last cup of tea, to make sure you read all of that. And now I want to call on Dr. Peter Jordan to come to the podium. He has a new employee administrator that he wants to. She's not new to Tarrant County College. I want to say that first.
She's not.
Okay, thank you. He stole her away. He certainly did.
Thank you, Chancellor Hadley, Ms. Appleman, members of the board. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Wendy N. Jasper Martinez, who is Director of Academic Affairs for the South Campus. Wendy, as the Chancellor said, is not new to TCC, but she's new to this position. She joined Tarrant County College in January of 2012 as Director of Academic Affairs for the Trinity River campus. And most recently, she served as Director of Dual Credit for TCC Connect. In her new role, Wendy will be responsible for assisting the Vice President, deans, and department chairs on South Campus with the gathering, analysis, and use of campus data to satisfy institutional effectiveness goals and improve efficiency of campus academic operations, including the full implementation of, or Ad Astra, a room scheduling system. In addition, she will coordinate academic support for evening and weekend students, and she will serve as liaison, as you heard from TCC Connect before, to TCC Connect in delivering on-campus technical dual credit for ISDs who are interested more and more in programs like automotive, welding, gaming, and so forth. Wendy has more than 20 years of combined professional experience with public service agencies and higher education institutions. She was professor of criminal justice for the Lone Star Colleges, where she taught criminal investigation, forensics, and criminology. Her public service work include Child Protective Services investigator for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services, and sergeant in the jail division of the Walker County Sheriff's Department. Don't mess with her. Wendy holds a Bachelor's of Science in Criminal Justice and Law Enforcement from Sam Houston State University. She earned a Master's in Public Administration at Stephen F. Austin State University, and she is currently a doctoral student at Texas A&M. No comments on that? Okay. In her free time, Wendy is a serious music journalist and tour photographer for National Recording Artists, and she is an avid skateboarder who enjoys vertical, ramp, and downhill activities with her son and her husband. Join me in welcoming Wendy Jasper Martinez to the South Campus.
Welcome back.
Hi. Chancellor Hadley, Ms. Applebaum, members of the board. I've told Dr. Jordan and also Dr. Wilson that the last 3+ years that I've been here at TCC have probably been the best I've ever had in any job that I've held over the last 20+ years. the opportunity to go to South Campus and work on the early college high school, and some of the programs that we'll have in the CTE division are very, very exciting to me because workforce development is part of my background, and y'all know how much I love dual credit and early college high school. So I'm really looking forward to the next year.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it for me.
Okay, thank you, Chancellor. You mentioned Vice Chancellor Robinson's presentation at a national assembly. You mentioned Vice Chancellor Robinson's presentation to a national assembly of attorneys in New Orleans. And we are surrounded by rock stars in
Yes,
this
we are.
institution.
Yes, we are.
And when you hear so many of the faculty, and you all must read the report that's in your electronic folder, because it just makes you so proud of all of our people. And Angela was invited and did present. And sometimes when you're a hero on the national scene, no one knows about you in your own backyard. However, a select few people in the state of Texas get this publication. She didn't quite make the front page, but look who's on page 2. And the article is really about another law firm in town, but they talk about how working with her on our behalf, because we often bring in outside counsel, she doesn't just hand the case over to them, she is there every step of the way. And we do appreciate that, Angela, because that would be so easy for you to say, here, keep them out of trustee jail or out of faculty jail or whatever. But I think you can get this online. If not, I'll send it to you. I happen to have it. And this is her only copy, so she said she has to have it back for her mom. But
Absolutely.
But congratulations to you, and thank you for representing us so well. Thanks to all of you who represent us in our community and beyond, including China.
Absolutely.
Can you imagine the two of them in China?
It's a sight to see, I tell you.
Oh, my gosh.
Really.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, 3 people went to the mayor's State of the City luncheon. Who wants to tell us briefly about it? Dr. Morrison?
I will. Of course, the mayor did an excellent job of telling us how great Fort Worth is and the wonderful things that we are doing. We're going to be doing many things differently in Fort Worth. Fort Worth is truly a city that is not only keeping up with the times, but we're leading the times in many of the developments. So that was exciting, and we already know what a dynamic environment we are a great part of, and it was very beneficial for us to be there. And she was very excited to personally come over and greet the Chancellor and the board members, and so it was a very good event. Thank you. And while I'm saying that, may I also remind everyone this is Women's History Month. And in case you've looked around and you did not see Dr. Joy Gates Black, it's because she is representing us in a great women's seminar down on the TRC? For Plaid for Women. She's getting an award for being a great woman, and she's part of a panel, and I wish I were there, but I proceeded, to say I can't come because it's TCC board meeting night, but it's a dynamic organization of encouragement for women from all walks of life, and I was very excited to see that they were going to have the benefit of hearing from Dr. Joy Gates Black.
Thank you for saying that, Dr. Morrison. I was supposed to say that, so don't tell her that I forgot it.
I tell you, just let me do it.
Tell her I'll let you do it.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Ms. Vandergrift for Mr. Greenhill, do you want to add to that? And we've had our... She said no. She, and we've heard about the 50th Jubilee. Anything want to add to that? And you may be able to get to Trinity River campus in time because we do not have a closed session tonight. I know you all will be sick to hear that we are adjourning the meeting now. You can go home, and the sun is probably still out. We'll see you on April the 16th.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
So